It's time for the paper review. Now let's get to see the headlines on the newspapers across Nigeria today. We have journalist and social commentator with us here in the studio, one of our regulars, Charles Ideho. Charles, good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
See you.
Thank you.
Gladly.
Yes,
All right, let's begin with the Daily Trust newspaper now. The first headline, the bold headline here says, many yet to get PVCs as deadline expires. INEC acknowledges challenges. Now, yesterday we had our correspondent speaking to or visiting the centers, the collection centers, yes. And a lot of people, crowd of people, all of them come from Port Harcourt to Lagos to Abuja. They were all saying that as at 8:45, some of them were still not being attended to.
I mean, it's very sad, but though expected, of course, if INEC had done what we consider right, I would have been surprised that maybe Nigeria has become an Eldorado country, of course. What we look at every time is that why should we always wait for things to get to this head before we start looking for how to mitigate? When you know, look at how much awareness was created by churches, by all organizations for people to get registered, and there was that height in the obedience. I expected INEC to have matched that obedience of people registering with an action to decentralize registration center, decentralized collection center. There are words. I mean, the way the party structure is made in parties, you see that you have wards, you have local government, you have state, and so on. The question is, why did INEC not make use of that platform to decentralize to the least unit?
But you know, we were also talking about the possibility of INEC being overwhelmed. Because, you know, when it comes to the number of staff, they don't have the required staff to decentralize to that level where at every ward level for INEC officials to be there. You remember, you know that the number of ad hoc staff who should help INEC for this election, they will only engage on the day of election and not right now.
No, but INEC has been, INEC has been giving, there's been budget for some certain, what I'm saying, why didn't they capture it in the budget or the supplementary budget to say, okay, for this season, why don't you just get young school leavers and just for this special purpose? Okay, so that, I mean, look, do you know how many people are going to be disenfranchised? And there are so many people who are going to be tasting voting for the very first time. And then they're going to also be disenfranchised. So that's why I'm saying that INEC is actually not living to expectation at all.
All right, let's move on now. Federal government earned 1.662 trillion naira from oil block license renewals and royalties in 1 year.
That's quite huge.
That's a huge one. They said it's an 80% increase from the previous year.
Yeah, so which means in the nearest future we're not going to let go of oil investment in oil. That's what it means. And we have been talking about divesting so much from oil and then investing so much in the
other sectors.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen. That's what it means.
And you know that we're still exploring for
oil
up north.
Yeah, they've gone up north.
Bauchi, Gombe. Yeah. Also in the Chad Basin and also in the Benue Trough.
I don't know. But all other nations that are thinking creatively are looking for other sources that are even more enduring than oil. But we are still stuck within this same platform of oil. It has to be oil, as we call it in the oil, you know.
Oh yeah. All right, EFCC arrests ex-SGF Babachir Lawal, arraigns him today. And
so can we say at last?
Well, what Nigerians have always said is let the rule of law always prevail. So,
but I think it's not a matter of arrest. Arrest is not a problem. You could arrest someone, but the question is
much more progress.
Are we looking at the processes?
The word arraignment is also there. So
arraignment, and when he's found culpable anyway. But the punishment is what people are waiting for. I'm not saying we should preempt, but let the law take its course. Exactly. But if he's found culpable, nobody should be seen as being above the law.
Well, for him to be arrested and arraigned, as far as this headline is concerned, it tells you that. All right. That's the Daily Trust now.
And this day is leading with several stories splashed all over the front page of the paper. Of course, I'll begin up there. CBN predicts boost in credit with movable collateral. Acting CJN gives assurances on speedy resolution of disputes. Suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria not going to get 7 days to respond to a fresh petition. This time from, he has to respond to an EFCC petition, while the new CJN, who was controversially, acting CJN, who was controversially appointed, he will know his fate now. In respect to a particular petition, the NJC will decide his fate later on today or tomorrow.
Yes.
Rivers for Atiku, that's the first picture story there. Former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, Rivers State Governor Chief Nwesom Wike, as well as Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and PDP National Chairman Prince Uche Secondus during the party's presidential campaign rally yesterday. Ogun APC crisis balls over as violence mars presidential rally. We see Vice President Yemi Oshibajo in the second picture story down there, as well as Ogun State All Progressives Congress governorship candidate Prince Dakpo Abiodun and President Muhammadu Buhari during the presidential rally in Abeokuta yesterday. But then let's also move on. APC warns U.S. others against unguarded statements on elections. This in addition to Atiku accusing President Buhari of instigating violence. Jonathan Lash's APC says all development in the stagnant since the year 2015. Beginning with the APC's directive, so to speak now, to the U.S., and the president specifically of Mr. Stuart Symington, what do you have to say now about what APC calls bias in the person of Mr. Symington now against the country or against the ruling party?
It's not new. I mean, we traveled this through before. Remember when it was said that Obama made a broadcast that was partly responsible for swaying victory the way of APC in 2015. So we are used to all this. But what I want us to see is that let's look inward. Let's look inward. I know that America is so advanced that I'm not sure they're going to openly be partisan in offshore. Offshore means that our country here. I mean, the fallout of that is Clinton's cancellation of his trip to Nigeria. I mean, he was built to be here to witness the signing of the reunion of the peace pact and so on, which of course was going to score high in the eyes of the international community. But we have forfeited that. We forfeited that by all these politics that is not going to do us any good. If Clinton had been here, imagine the image we're going to, the image level was going to give us. But we forfeited that, what I said earlier. So and he is saying that his coming was going to be politicized. Exactly. I mean, this is what we are seeing now. So, but I think what we need to do, this country belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to APC, doesn't belong to PDP, it belongs to every one of us. All we need to do is that if you feel you have all the programs in place to benefit the population of the majority of Nigeria, let us see it. Let Nigeria look at it as if and see whether these programs are germane enough to sway their votes. I mean, for them to surrender their money to you.
The US has continually said that the interest they have in Nigeria is for democracy to
thrive. Yes,
that is
what is wrong with that?
And it's the same stance with the UK and some of the Western
some of the
countries
other nations. Yes, exactly.
And all of that. So and they have always had the same stance when it comes to anything at all. They said they don't have interest as regards who wins, I mean, the candidates and all of that, but the democracy. Okay,
but let's even look at it. How come we are always very visible when some other African nations are going through this process? You find us there. Jonathan was in Ghana.
He was in Mali.
He was always well represented.
In Liberia, he was in Sierra Leone. Of course.
But how come when it comes to us, we are now saying something? So I don't understand why we have to...
I'm also concerned now, and I seek your views on this, Charles. Reports now of tensions here and there. It seems the international media seems to be harping on that. How are you dealing with reports now? Just yesterday, Bolaji Akindemi of course, the astute politician and diplomat, so to speak, now also gave reports of tensions here and there, warning against this playing out in the 2019 elections. What's your take?
Tensions are usually part of the ingredients of any political process. Okay, but it's only when the tensions become violent that we become we have now become concerned. Abroad, I mean, you remember when Trump was coming in, you saw this they were speaking dagger but not using any. But here we speak dagger, we use dagger. That's the difference between us and across the shores. So what I'm saying first is that, look, because when you look at what are responsible for some of this violence and all this tension, is because of the stake. Okay? Any politician, once you win election, you are made for life. And once you lose the election, you are destroyed for life. Okay. Because they are decided they apply the policy of exclusion.
The winner takes all.
Or they even attack the very heart of your survival, which is your business. Right. So that's why they struggle to be there, and all this tension. And as I said, they are part of the ingredient. But what we need to do is to make sure that we subdue some of these things so that it becomes
I think to a great extent, if you compare this election to 2015 election, the build up to the election
was slow this time around.
This year is
and
quite
subdued.
So that tension has
but it's getting to the crescendo.
Well, of course, we're getting closer to the day. What do you expect? All right, Vanguard is our next paper now. Buhari campaign slams US others over stance on polls. Buhari campaign afraid, jittery. PDP is saying that, and Clinton cancels trip. Clinton cancels trip. And ruling party should mind its utterances. That's the CSO, civil society organizations are saying that. And the picture story there, PDP presidential rally in Rivers. Rivers seem to be the strongest.
No, that's stronger. That's a stronghold.
Yeah, exactly. Of the PDP. And you see governor of Sokoto State there, Aminu Tambawal, as well as former President Goodluck Jonathan, as well as governor of Rivers State, and then the presidential candidates of the PDP.
Yes.
And the national
and then, of course, they are also feasting copiously from the crisis regarding APC not feeding any candidate in Rivers.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They are doing everything to mop up whatever, and even they are even poaching.
Yeah.
So you can expect
the Supreme Court to finalize
I'll tap your brains on that, because that's also
all right.
in the nation.
Rivers people endorse Atiku, vow on mass voting. All right, that's a headline there. Oshibajo is an enemy of Yoruba. Afani Ferre is saying that. Well, okay.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
anyway, polls, I'm not an apostle of bloodshed. Buhari is saying that, vows to make looters regret their actions. Okay, simultaneous accreditation voting adopted from 2015 Commonwealth report. Okay.
So is that going to be adopted in this election?
Of course, this is INEC has said, of course, that's what they are going to do. So
some of us.
So while some party officials were saying, let us go back to the time where we accredit and we finish and then we wait to vote. I think he said no. We've gone past that level. Because you accredit and vote immediately.
Some of us are going to be on duty on TV and radio, which means we can easily go do that and then before we move on to our duty. So I think I prefer that.
That's all right. That's the Vanguard newspaper now.
Yeah. Finally, gentlemen, on this newspaper review, The Nation, of course, active political season that will wind down in a couple of days before Saturday. Of course, President Buhari is pictured in Ogun State. We said that is also pictured in Kwara, as he was there earlier. President Buhari, as well as National Chairman Adams Oshiomhole, raising the hands of the party's governorship candidate in Kwara State, Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak. APC to US envoy also made it to the front page there. Buhari will win without rigging. Party's campaign council kicks against threats. Polls tip president for victory. There's a quote there. We take the view that the constant statements by Ambassador Sementin and other diplomats are implicit attacks against the government of Nigeria.
I don't think so.
Of course, there's also this new rules for banks and money laundering.
These polls. I don't rely on these polls
anymore. How reliable are they?
Especially as they are all polls conducted offshore. One of them recently said, I think I was going to win. I mean, landslide. The other one said, oh, it's going to be head-to-head. Yeah, I have stopped relying on them.
But because the Americans now live for these polls, interestingly.
No, but polls don't work here. Right. Because polls don't work here, especially when you look at our nation. We are not as politically savvy as you have in the US.
All right, let me run through other stories in the nation. Alleged 544.1 million naira contract. EFCC holds ex-SGF Babachir Lawal today. Incidentally, Mr. Ayodele, Ambassador Ayodele, has been a warrant of arrest.
But it's only when they find him,
they can't find him.
They can't. Well, I don't know. Maybe
he's nowhere to be found.
He's not for now.
Unlike him, that didn't report at the EFCC headquarters, Mr. Bashir.
Yes, I think he has
so
even further exacerbated his own case because by going a wall, as they call it.
Right. So his arraignment seems on course today in Abuja. Expectant mom, kids die in fire. TCN hits 5,375 megawatts peak. Atiku claims restructuring, and sadly, ex-NFF.
He said he authored it. He said is the proponent of
restructuring?
the author of restructuring. Everybody who's doing that now, they are all for him.
It's okay.
I say hallelujah. Somebody's claiming something.
We can't also fail to mention the death of ex-NFF chief.
Yes. Very painful. When it broke yesterday, it's quite sad.
Quite sad. Yesterday. It's indeed a busy day. Supreme Court appears busy today. Now we'll hear this crucial Rivers APC case. Now we'll see how it pans out. If indeed eventually APC will have.
But even if it happens that the pendulum swings its way, that's the way of APC, and the damage have been done. I mean, how many days are remaining for them to start swaying votes? They were not permitted. They couldn't go anywhere.
They say 24 hours is so much in politics
in Nigeria.
Let's wait
so
and see
how
so much can happen. Let's just wait and see how the court comes out.
We always pray here, so I pray for them. I pray for them.
We wait for the Supreme Court to come with their resolution, and then we also wait to see how things go.
But still on the Supreme Court now, the appeals on Ogo PDP crisis. Now, Charles, you must have followed this
the PDP,
interesting.
Right? Yes.
We understand now that Buruji Kashemu seems to be on course now. Right.
Again, that's also coming late. Because, his deputy is our senior colleague.
Our very senior colleague,
Dr. Ruben
Abati. Right.
But it's only when I went to work I began to see all this. But as I said, my happiness is that let the court decide so that this process can reach our jurisprudence so that in the course of time, some of these things will just fall into place.
And the court has decided, Supreme Court has decided
by default.
Thank you very much, Charles Ideho, for coming on the program.
As always.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.